Today's video is going to be all about powder coating Harley's Wrinkle Black. There seems to be a bit of confusion about the powder coating that's been used on the Harley engines. And over the years, people I've talked to just tend to call everything Wrinkle Black, when in fact there's a lot of different kinds. There's wrinkles, there's crinkles, there's textures. Hell, there's even one here that's none of those. It's called Nite Black. How would you know? I mean, I didn't know until I started doing research for this video. So if you're taking apart to a powder coater, it would be nice to know exactly which powder you want them to use. Or at the very least, have the knowledge of the powders in order to convey to the powder coater what it is you're actually looking for. Because if you take apart to a powder coater and say, I want Wrinkle Black, you're rolling the dice. So what I did was I bought 7 of the what I felt were the most popular wrinkles, crinkles, textures, and Desert Nite Black, and a bunch of blanks. I'm going to cook them up. We'll compare them. I do have a Mount Rushmore engine sitting here, so we can size them up against the cases on that, see how they look, and yeah, have some fun. So I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for watching. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is give these little blanks just a quick wash with some degreaser. All done. And extra, just in case I screw things up. Okay, first powder we're going to use is HD Black Texture, and it's sold by allpowderpaints.com. That's it. Those little blanks are aluminum, so they'll heat up right away. So I'll actually have to kind of keep an eye on them. But yeah, there's most of them are 10 minutes at 400 degrees. There's a couple that are a little different, and one of them that I have to go look up. Something I should mention, between powders, I thoroughly rinse out the gun, the hose, the pump, and the fluidizing cups, just to ensure that the powders stay separate. Okay, I'm going to number them so I can keep track of them, and this is the HD Black Texture by allpowderpaints.com. Okay, this is HD Black Wrinkle, sold by powder365.com. I love it when I pull the temperature and it's like within 1 degree. Alright, next one is HD Textured Black, sold by powder365.com. Okay, another one down. This is the HD Black Wrinkle by powder365.com. I'll show you the difference here. This is a texture. And this is a wrinkle. Okay, next powder is Black Wrinkle II, and this is sold by Prismatic Powders. Pretty much got it. Those little aluminum test plates, they're so thin, they just heat right up right away. Really have to be careful with them. Oh, let's look at the last one. Down. This is HD Black Textured by powder365.com. All right, next powder is S&S Black Wrinkle. Got a little ways to go yet. Okay, here's another one. This is Black Wrinkle II from Prismatic Powders. This is S&S Black Wrinkle. Okay, the next one we're going to try is Screamin Crinkle. Now this powder is sold by powder365.com. And this is Screamin Crinkle from powder365.com. Last but not least, the one I've been waiting for, Desert Nite Black. All right, last one. And last but not least, Desert Nite Black from allpowderpaints.com. Okay, before I put them up against the engine, I did this one last pass at 60 frames per second, all side by each here, so you should be able to pause it if you want, and it should be fairly clear. I've tested it in editing and it seemed to work. Okay, this primary case is the biggest patch of this stock 2015 103 paint that I have on this engine. So I'll be using this side as the main comparison, but I'll also throw in a shot from the other side just so you can see what it looks like. You can see that the primary cover that I had powder coated years ago, it doesn't really match either. So here's the number one. I'm not going to say the names again. I'll just write them in the description and you can check them out there if you want. But this number one matches pretty good. And these two pieces right here were done by the same guy that did the cam cover. And as you can see, the one on top is bubbling as well. I'll have to redo them. And here's the wrinkle. You can see how the wrinkle's a lot rougher and a lot more gloss to it. Again, a texture. This one just has a little bit more gloss than the number one, but you could totally get away with this one. Totally doable. Again, a wrinkle. You're starting to see a trend here. The wrinkles are definitely a lot rougher, a lot shinier, and they just don't quite match as well as the textures. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I'm just saying if you want to match the cases, I would look at a texture. Now this Desert Nite Black, I really had high hopes for this powder. And I mean, I wasn't disappointed, even though it doesn't match anything on my bike. It's probably one of my favorites of the bunch. I'll definitely be using it for something. All right, well, I rather enjoyed that. I have noticed there is quite a few more wrinkles and textures out there. Maybe I'll gather up another bunch and do it again. So you can watch for that in the future. If there's any that you want me to try out, or any powders in general you want me to try out, just write it down in the comments. I'll see what I can do. So that's it for me. I want to thank you for watching, and stay safe out there. Okay, now I have this cam cover off my bike that I need to do because it was blistering pretty bad. I'll show you this clip here. I suspect it was from a piss poor cleaning job. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do now. I've decided which powder I'm going to use. But the first thing I have to do is off-gas it because it needs it. So we're going to throw it in the oven for half an hour or so at about 450, and see how it looks after that. And we're done. And it looks amazing, which is amazing because that gun was acting up again. Yeah. So the winner for the closest match to the 2015 Mount Rushmore 103 engine cases is, which you probably already knew, HD Black Texture from allpowderpaints.com. So that's it for me. I want to thank you very much for watching right to the end. And don't forget, I will be ordering up another 7 powders, and we'll do this all again.